As the war in West Asia drags on, its ripple effects are being felt elsewhere around the world. US universities have become the latest flashpoint, and this as students across the country are holding pro-Palestine demonstrations at different campus areas. In the latest, in the heart of New York City, the NYPD, New York Police Department officers dressed in riot gear have stormed through the window of Columbia University building. The police personnel began to flush out dozens of demonstrators within the campus building. The officials flooded the Ivy League campus in New York City and made a push towards Hamilton Hall. The police also now cleared the hall, which students had taken control of. Now, Hamilton Hall had been barricaded by students who have vowed that they will fight any eviction as they protest the rising death toll from Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza. The occupation began overnight when demonstrators broke windows, stormed inside and unfurled a banner reading Hinds Hall, renaming the building for a 6-year-old Palestinian child killed in Gaza by the Israeli military. Now, the hall itself has a long history of student demonstrations. In 1968, anti-Vietnam War demonstrators barricaded themselves in the hall.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Well, during the raid by the police, dozens of other officers surrounded the nearby protest site, onlooking students standing outside the campus. They jeered them with shouts of shame, shame.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
Officers were also seen leading handcuffed demonstrators to police vehicles outside campus gates. As of now, the police are yet to confirm how many students they have detained. But reports suggest that the police has boarded about 15 detainees onto a bus, while nearly 100 students have been arrested. Ambulances and other emergency services vehicles also stood there. According to reports, the raid comes after President of Colombia asked the police officials to come to the campus to restore order and safety, following an escalation in the demonstrations. Moreover, the action came as university administrators around the US, they struggled to contain pro-Palestinian demonstrations on dozens of campuses. The unrest has swept through the US higher education institutions like wildfire. The demonstrations have posed a challenge to the university administrators who are trying to balance free speech rights with complaints that the rallies have veered into anti-Semitism and hate. In one of the newest clashes at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, the police has moved to clear one encampment, detaining some demonstrators in a tense showdown. During this part of the demonstrations, law enforcement used pepper spray on the demonstrators, which led to the demonstrators to throw bottles at the officials. While at the University of Texas in Austin, state troopers were at the scene of a pro-Palestinian demonstrations. The university has seen fierce clashes between the demonstrators and authorities, with students loudly calling for a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and demanding that their college should divest from weapons manufacturers. While the UCLA campus has now declared that the pro-Palestinian encampment on campus is unlawful and violates university policy, warning that students who do not leave will face possible suspension or expulsion. And this comes as pro-Palestinian demonstrators continue to occupy an encampment on campus. More than 50 tents have been set near the main administration building on the campus, while security has been tightened with metal fencing surrounding the encampment. Now, as the US campuses are hit with demonstrations, the former US President Donald Trump has blasted the demonstrations. Trump questions if Columbia University students who took over the building will face similar consequences to those who stormed the Capitol 3 years ago on January 6th.
They took over. I know the building very well. They took over a building. That is a big deal. And I wonder if what's going to happen to them will be anything comparable to what happened to J6. Because they're doing a lot of destruction, a lot of damages, a lot of people getting hurt very badly. I wonder if that's going to be the same kind of treatment.
For more on this escalation at Colombia, we were earlier joined by international affairs expert and political analyst Stephen Golub, live from California. Take a listen.
I'm smiling because I was afraid you were going to ask that question. It puts a lot of pressure on the Biden administration. This drives real divisions within the Democratic Party between those who are, to oversimplify, pro-Israel or pro-Palestine or falling somewhere in the middle. On top of it, Biden is dealing with a really recalcitrant prime minister in Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, who, as your lead-in indicated, most Israelis want to see out of office, very legitimately so. He's the worst prime minister in the country's history. So these demonstrations inflame passions on both sides of the issue even more than what was going on before they took place, by making it so salient and so prominent in U.S. news coverage. That is not just the war itself, but the takeovers or the encampments on U.S. campuses. So it really presents a very difficult political challenge and a policy challenge for the Biden administration regarding the Middle East and in the November election.